This pattern looks amazing in Christmas fabrics.
But what if we used an ombre or a rustic woodland print?
Let's find out. Hi, it's Donna Robertson
And Fran Morgan with Fabric Café.
3-yard quilts make changing up your fabric so easy and fun. Any pattern looks good with any 3 yards of fabric.
Today we're putting that to the test. We're going to take a pattern and put different fabric styles in it so you can see how versatile 3-yard quilts can be. Let's check out our first one. Now our sleigh bells pattern has so many great elements to it. First, let's talk about this nice size snowball here. This can use a directional fabric, and this is our fabric number 1 here. We've simply bordered this block here with some little corner blocks right here. Now what's really cool is whenever you put this together with your sashing, it creates this really cool joining area. And this is so simple. We just have a block here that's done with stitch and flip, super easy, and then a square to join all of that together. It goes together so simply. Let's get it on the table and we'll use our cropping tool and look at it a little closer. So our block A, our very first block that we're gonna do, we are actually going to make a snowball block. And when you make a snowball block, basically we are doing stitch and flip in the corners here, which goes super fast and easy. It's really fun to do. And it creates this really great shape, but it leaves a really nice big space for a focus fabric. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna sew a strip to the top and bottom of that snowball block. Very simple. That gives us our top and bottom border. Now what we did different here is we added then another border on the sides, but this border is strip pieced, so it creates this little square in the corner. So this is a strip, and then this one's a strip. I'll show you that. So here is this strip assembly, and then exact same strip assembly on this side. Let me get this straight. Exactly the same thing, just sewn on the sides. And it makes it so easy.
Now that's a really interesting block just all by itself. It's fun.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's very fun. Now, our second block is kind of like a sashing block. We have that here. So here is the outside edges of this block. So what we've done is we've taken a rectangle and we've snowballed the corners or done stitch and flip on the corners. Very, very simple. 4 corners here. Now we have a third block that brings all of this together. And that block is right here. This one is probably the easiest one to make because it's a square.
Yeah, that's about as easy as you get.
And what's really cool is whenever you start bringing all of this together, it creates a secondary design. Because I think whenever I look at this quilt, your eye is drawn to this section right here. And it makes you think that this is the block, but it's not. It's not difficult at all to do. It's exactly as we said. So it's so much fun. It's so easy.
I think that you are the master of creating quilts with an illusory kind of a compound. She brings all these blocks together and you can study it all day long, but you have to get her to do that so you can see how they went together.
It's really
and they're easy.
Very simple construction. It's really a fun pattern.
Dynamic.
It is. I do. It's one of my favorites that I've done. So thank you. I appreciate that. So for our focus fabric, we have pulled an ombre, and the ombre has just clusters of flowers with the butterflies fluttering all over the surface of these flowers. So on one selvage, it's a nice, beautiful royal blue, and it transitions to a turquoise, a purple, a pink, a red, and then a gold and a yellow on the opposite selvage. It's going in our big snowball blocks, our third block here, our square, as well as a little bit on the border. Now, because our focus fabric is such a showstopper, we kept our number 2 very simple. And this is gonna really keep our eye where we want it on our focus fabric. It's gonna border here where you see the green on this quilt around our snowball. It's gonna be our snowball corners here and on our sashing blocks here. So it's really gonna give us that background so that our focus pops. Now our number 3 fabric, Now, we could have chosen any variety of color that we wanted to because our focus fabric has blue and purple and gold and red. It has everything. So pick your favorite. But we chose purple because we thought a little bit more of a dominant throughout the number one, and we thought it just blended so beautifully. And it has some purples, some pinks, some highs, some lows in there, so it's going to really look gorgeous. Our fabric 3 goes here in our rectangle, as well as our little corner blocks on our snowball, frames it really nicely too with a border. This image is stunning, the way
Wow.
this turned out.
It is incredible.
So this is really great how you can see that it was very important for us to get a number 2 fabric that was very, very quiet.
Well, look how the number 1 fabric shows up in those little squares.
Yes.
It's like they are a star unto themselves.
I agree. I
it's
absolutely
gorgeous.
agree. Now, we've arranged our focus fabrics so that the colors are kind of in rows like you see here. You can arrange them however you want. This is our recommendation. I think it looks amazing. And I love the way the ombre is on the border and gives you every color as it wraps around the quilt. Let me get you the kit information. It is called Painted Garden, and it is our sleigh bells pattern from the Quick Christmas 3-Yard Quilts book.
Now, this next set of fabric is just, it is equally wonderful. We went with a real earthy fabric for this kit. And it is stunning in itself. It's like a piece of art as well. You've got wolves and you've got the golden sunset in the background and the trees. It's just gorgeous. It will go in each one of the snowballs, and it'll also be out here on the border. And because this is kind of a moody kind of a fabric, we kept the whole thing in that kind of a moody kind of a look. Now, we have chosen 2 tone-on-tones to go with this. Those snowballs are going to get your attention with these wolves in there, and then you need these 2 to kind of really frame them and set them off. So the number 2 is a nice creamy tan.
So pretty.
It is pretty, and it's going to go everywhere that you see the light blue on the quilt. And then the number 3 is going to keep with those dark colors. It's going to frame everything and bring it all in. It's going to be everywhere you see this kind of red. And so it will also be out here on the outside border and in your sashing block as well. It's just so amazing how this pattern looks absolutely gorgeous in every one of the fabrics that we pick. So this is kind of earthy, and it kind of has that look again, like you told me when you first named this sleigh bells, that's kind of like a leather strap with the...
Yes, it does.
It does. It has that look like that. And I like it, and I love the way that creamy tan sets it off.
You know, it's really cool because the focus fabric is a bigger print in that snowball, and it really gives you a lot of interest there. Our fabric 2 and 3 has interest from the piecing, which is fabulous. It keeps the spotlight on the focus fabric, which is what we want.
Right, but it still
Very
gives
good.
you that interest for you to travel. But before I give you the kit information, let's show you how different those 2 quilts are. Let's put them side by side and see.
I would be tickled with either one.
Absolutely.
They're gorgeous.
And everybody has difference in their
taste
decor
and preferences.
Yeah, and who might be receiving it as a gift.
True.
But they're both stunning quilts.
Stunning.
I really like them. And this kit is called Midnight Howl, and it is the sleigh bells pattern from the Quick Christmas 3-Yard Quilts. Now, Diamond Dust is up next. It is a fun quilt to make. It has 2 different blocks, but they're made exactly the same way. We're just using different colorways. And each block has 4 half rectangles. How easy is that? It creates a beautiful optical illusion when you've put those 4 half rectangles together. It just comes out so beautifully. So let's put it on the table and show you some great fabrics. Now, our number 1 fabric is a beautiful, beautiful print. I love all those pinks and blues together.
A little bit of green in there.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
And so this is going to be, and it's a big area on your quilt in your diamond. It's a really nice sized diamond. So this is going to look great over here in this number 1 spot. Then our number 2 has a really large size diamond as well. And so it's okay that you use a little bit of a print in there so that there's still some interest. Another little tip on that is that if you have that lighter color, you can always quilt it with a colored thread. And that looks really good too. I've done that before.
That's a great idea.
And it really does just help anytime you have a larger light colored area with the dramatic quilt fabrics beside it, is to actually quilt it with color thread.
But this one almost looks like it's quilted already, the way that the pattern is done.
And it will fit in this very well, and it will show up that little bit of a print as well. Now the number 3 is going to be gorgeous, gorgeous. It looks beautiful in this, but it's not going to clash or compete for attention. So it's going to be everywhere you see here. This will be right next door in that diamond.
Love it. It's a beautiful, rich purple.
It is
very,
gorgeous.
Very elegant. It is stunning.
It is. I love it. I love that dark, dark purple. You know, if you really look in the center of this quilt, you'll see a large diamond from top to bottom and side to side, and it's actually creating a star.
That's very cool.
Isn't that cool?
I like that.
I like that too.
You know, I also love that the focus fabric has a nice wide border. It's made with the focus fabric there, which is really cool because it helps kind of unify it all together and bring all the color together. I really like that.
I like that as well. And this kit is called Lavender Lattice, and it's the diamond dust pattern from Modern Views.
Now, our next collection of fabric here, we have put a really, really bold print in our focus position. I love the dark background on this with all of the colors kind of rainbowing across the surface in the leaves and the flowers. So pretty. So this is our focus. It is going to go in our big diamond right here, as well as that nice big space on the border. Now we've paired it with a light blue for our number 2. Now, because our fabric number 1 is so bold, we wanted to keep it a little bit more subtle with our 2 and 3, so our focus fabric really popped off. So this nice light blue really blends with some of the lighter blues in our focus. It's going to go in the nice big area here, and there's a small border here. And then for our number 3, really keeping that contrast. And I like it because the number 3 has some darker blues, some medium blues, and some lighter blues, which pick up kind of a similar theme of our focus, how it has light and dark blues. Lots of contrast here still, so it's going to work really, really well. And that is going to go in these half square triangles to create this diamond, as well as a little bit on the border and binding. I love the strong punch of our focus fabric.
That is really nice.
Really, really nice. Now, our 2 and 3 fabrics are great with it, and I think that it just really showcases the focus, which is what we want, right?
Absolutely. And there's so much movement with the piecing on this. It's wonderful. Your eye just travels all over that quilt, enjoying every minute.
Let's see what these 2 quilts, same quilt pattern, different fabrics, look side by side.
Wow. This is a good example about how any fabric can work in any 3-yard quilt.
They're so different, but they are so striking, both of them in their own right. Love it. And this is a really great pattern to have that really strong, bold focus fabric, which you know I love.
Yes. Well, it's a very dramatic quilt.
It really is. Very fun. I just love it. Now, let me get you the kit information on this one. It is called Velvet Garden, and it's the diamond dust pattern from our Modern Views book. Now, this is our Enchanting quilt, and it's really great if you have a directional fabric that you want to use. You can place it in the fabric number 1 position right here, and it's going to work beautifully. And we've used a strip piece on each side of this so that it really showcases your focus fabric, but it also gives you a little interest. Now, we've also added some half square triangles right in the corners. And then when you put all of your blocks together, it creates this fun little diamond of your focus fabric. I'm going to start off by showing you the block. And this is actually a 1-block quilt. So you're making this block, many times and putting them together. So here's the outside borders of our block. So to construct this, the very first thing that we do is we cut a square. Then what we're going to do is we're going to do a strip assembly. Now, this strip assembly just consists of 2 colors. It's our fabric 2 and 3, and we're going to put it at the top and the bottom of our center here, our square. Now, basically, we're going to take this same strip assembly and we're going to turn it the other direction, which is right here, but we're going to sew a half square triangle onto each end of it. And then we're going to border our center with this. We're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So same strip assembly, it's just that these sides have the half square triangles. What's really cool about this is whenever you put the blocks together, our little half square triangles come together to create that little diamond, which is so fun. It gives us that little pop of color, and it helps our focus fabric travel throughout the quilt, which I love. And whenever I see these happy, happy dragons, it kind of makes me think of Blake when he was a little boy.
It does me too.
He loved dragons, and he played Dungeons and Dragons, and he did. It kind of makes me happy. But they're all smiling. I think that's really cute too. And this is our focus fabric, and it's going to go in our big block here as well as our diamonds here, our half square triangles. And now we've contrasted it with our number 2. We want a really heavy contrast here in our fabrics so that the pattern and the piecing really show up and pop. And this number 2 is great. It almost looks like the castle walls, you know? It's like bricks that are stacked. It's very fun.
And you know, these dragons have wings, so they're going to fly over that wall anyway.
They are. That's right. Now for our number 3, and we know that dragons have a little bit of fire element going on there. And I love this fabric.
That is so cool.
It's got reds and golds with that black background, and it's going to go everywhere the red is on this quilt.
It's really going to make those dragons pop.
Really, really pop. What a fun combination of fabric. I love this, and I love the number 2, how it has just a little bit of texture in it. But yeah, the focus fabric and the 3 create that movement, that diagonal line that's going down. It's so cool.
Love it.
So fun. All right, let's get you the kit information on this. It is called Dragon Dreams, and it's the Enchanting pattern from the Magic of 3-Yard Quilts.
I love this fabric. It is so sweet and soft, and it has these great little abstract birds.
Oh, yeah.
Aren't those fun?
Yeah,
and
that is
and
fun.
there's some feathers on there. And what's cool is it's a one-way directional fabric, and Enchanting has made it so perfect for using in these large squares.
Yes.
And then our number 2 is the perfect backdrop for this fabric. It has this nice creamy color. So that's going to go everywhere you see the white in this particular one. And then our number 3, that is the perfect fabric for our number 3. And it's going to go in the places that you see where the burgundy is. And I love all those textures and everything. They have contrasting color and a little contrasting texture, which causes all of that movement. Isn't that pretty?
It has a peaceful feel to it.
Very much so.
Yes.
Yeah, very peaceful.
It really, really does.
And you can see that abstraction of that center block really does hold your interest. It makes you want to stay on that focus fabric longer so you can pick out all of the intricacies that within it.
Very
I
pretty.
really like it. But now let's see how these 2 quilts contrast with one another. Wow.
They contrast.
It's another example of that thing that we're making a point of, and that is that any fabric looks great in the 3-yard quilt. So it makes it so easy for you to hold your interest while you're picking fabrics and making the quilts, picking it out just for the person that you're making that quilt for.
Yep, that's perfect. I really, really love it. I mean, 2 very opposite kind of feels.
Yeah.
Both work beautifully.
And this kit is called Pastel Whisper. It's the Enchanting pattern from the Magic of 3-Yard Quilts. Now, Majestic is a wonderful, versatile pattern. You can either use a panel in the center with 2 yards for your borders, or you could use 3 yards of fabric. It's really easy to make the frame with the half-square triangles, and what's really cool is this corner block is made with half-square triangles and then sewn to the other strip. So cool. The framing draws your eyes into the center of the quilt, and when you get through, you have a very majestic quilt. Now, the number one fabric this particular time is a panel.
It's very cool, and I really love the way the flag is in the background with all the fireman paraphernalia, almost like he just finished saving a family and their cat, and he's just dumped everything there. And you can see the story in the panel.
You sure can. It really does tell the story.
And he's a true hero.
That's great. Now, we picked a number 2 fabric that's a little darker than usual, but this is going to be the perfect fabric to frame this panel and give you some grounding.
And it goes next to the panel, so what you're saying is that's going to help ground that, which is perfect.
Right, and it won't detract from that panel because you want to stay on the panel piece. You know, we want to move, but we want you to stay on that panel looking at all those individual items. And then the number 3, we have this great red. Now that is going to really pull out the reds from the center, and that actually will cause you to just magnetize your eyes over to that red because you're going to be going back and forth, and it keeps the movement in the pattern as well. See how that gray just makes the perfect grounding? So that the red then becomes the interest point out on the edge and then goes back to the center of the quilt.
It really, really works. You know, it's almost like you have a piece of art, which we do. The panel is a piece of art, and we've chosen this very cool frame to put around it.
Absolutely. We all have those precious things in our life that we want to frame so that you can really focus on. And this one is called Rescue Ready, and it's the Majestic pattern.
Here is another great look that is very different from what we just saw with the firefighter, which is very cool. This one, once again, has a softer feel. And our fabric number 1 is actually running yardage. It is not a panel. So it's going to be very, very easy to use. At one selvage, you see that there's the ground, and at the other selvage, there's the sky. So you're just going to be able to cut your width that you need.
You could use this piece of fabric to piece a quilt and cut it up. But I don't want to because it's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous. So that is our number 1 fabric. It's going to be featured in the very center of this quilt. It's going to be amazing. Now, we've kept our number 2 and 3 in the same kind of theme, but more simple so that our focus is on the number 1. And we've used a light textural blue as our background here. Everywhere you see the gold here is where this will be. And this kind of keeps that watery feel, or maybe the sky from our number 1 fabric, and it's really, really beautiful. We went a little darker, and we've got dark blues and light blues and a little gold running through this. It almost looks like rocks or something like that. So we've kept that kind of nature feel with our fabrics. And that is going to be in our half square triangles here, as well as on the outer border.
You know,
wow.
This is really, this particular pattern really does show you the importance of high contrast in those number 2 and 3 fabrics.
Yes.
It really shows
But
it
what's really cool about this is it's monochromatic. These 2 and 3 fabrics are both blues. One's a very light value, one's a much darker value, and it works perfectly. And it keeps the softness, and it keeps your eye on that gorgeous mountain scene with that sky and all the grasses and with all the flowers mixed in. It's so pretty.
It is truly a piece of art.
It really, really is. All right, now as we love to do in this video, we're going to show you these 2 side by side so that you can see what different looks you can get. So we've got a really heroic quilt with the firemen, and then we have a very peaceful quilt. It's almost like you're on vacation with the mountain scene. So, so different. And you know what's really cool is you purchase a pattern, a 3-yard quilt pattern, suddenly you realize the value in the pattern and all the changes you can make just by changing your fabric.
It's like getting a new pattern.
I mean, it's incredible. So just keep using those and get creative with them. It is amazing. All right, let me get you the kit information on this gorgeous mountain scene. It is called Soft Horizons, and once again, it is our Majestic pattern.
It is incredible how different patterns can look just by changing up the fabrics. Did any of these surprise you? Let us know in the comments.
If you would like to see more ways to change up your 3-yard quilts, then be sure to watch the video that pops up. Happy quilting!